Wait, so Alex, you were saying a little bit earlier that you think it's more so men that are operating like this, that are moving like this, as compared to women.
Yeah, the inability to commit, I do find it to be a lot of men. I mean, you are like that. Like, you talk
me?
about that.
Me?
Yeah.
Wait, how am I like?
You are very anti-marriage. You don't want to commit either. So this is like a phenomenon I'm seeing growing. I think a lot of the men that watch this show, I think they would agree that is where they fall, is they're very anti-commitment. And it's because they think that there are no women worth committing to. I understand that.
I would like to just point out, make one clarification. I don't have any qualms with commitment.
Just
I have
marriage.
qualms with marriage.
Okay.
I could have a life partner that I am monogamous with, and I spend 20, 30 years, however long it is. Marriage, on the other hand, you need not have marriage in order to be committed to somebody.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm not anti-commitment.
You're against the legal things that marriage entails.
Yeah,
and
I'm
sort
contract.
of what it locks you into.
Yeah, it's just there's the financial ramifications of marriage, and like the thing with marriage, I don't object to it from a religious standpoint, but the thing is that if there's ever an issue in the marriage, for example, let's say you're both religious, your wife is not likely to go to God or to her church or to her priest, whatever it is, for like the religion does not preside over the marriage. The state presides over the marriage. So she's going to seek recourse through the court system. She's going to go to the state. And so once you have the state involved, then you have alimony, then you have all these negative repercussions. Then you have to, if you're the breadwinner as a guy, not only do you have to pay for your lawyer in the event of a divorce, you have to pay for her lawyer. So it gets very nasty.
Don't you think that's why you need to choose very carefully, though?
That's absolutely.
But how
decision
like
you make.
And people change, though. People
Sure.
change over years, so no doubt that's an issue.
But I mean, how many people, like, when they get married, they're going into the marriage thinking, this is my person?
I think so many
And
people
then-
get married way too early. I think people get married. I got married at 29, and my wife was 26. And we sort of planned it out in a way where we lived together for a certain amount of time, and we spend all this time together. We traveled the world together. We did all these things. We know who we are, and we grew as a couple, and we became the people that we cannot be separated. Like the fact that she and my son and my mate Morgan, who's with us on this trip, are out in the car at the moment, or they're going around somewhere. Me being here, I'm just like, oh, I probably should be there. You know what I mean? Because we are almost joined at the hip. We do everything together, and the fact that marrying her was an important step for us. I think it obviously, being involved with the government and signing the contract and being involved in that sense, it does scare a lot of people, but I think it is an important move for a lot of people to make, just so you feel good. It's such a good feeling. But weddings do cost a ton of money too. It's a great way to spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on one day. It was
you could
awful.
just go to a courthouse,
Yeah, I
though,
was
if
gonna
you really
say.
just want to be married and not spend.
Yeah, but I'm not a
money.
redneck.
I mean,
I'm fancy
I'm
as
just you can get married. And
Like,
not
yeah,
spend money.
sure,
Just
Steve-
most people don't.
Steve-O's sister could get married there, but not. It was a joke about Steve-O and the voice. I think that going somewhere nice is very important.
Would you say there's also something special about the contract of standing up in front of everyone and saying, hey, we're going to spend the rest of our lives
Because it's a
together?
culture thing.
Yeah.
It's not so much about religion. It's a culture thing. That's what you do when you love this person more than anything else. You spend all your money and you get locked into a contract with them. It doesn't make sense when you think about it, like, with your brain.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
Well, if everybody's so worried about the government repercussions, why not do it specifically through the church? Write out a contract for you and the person you're marrying through the church, and do it that way, and not
Because
legally
God's
get
not
married
real.
at all.
Oh God. Okay. Well.
Oh my God.
Just point of clarification, because you mentioned commitment. I am perfectly prepared to have a long-term or lifelong monogamous relationship with a woman. What I'm not prepared to do is to needlessly involve the state with my love life. I don't want to allow the state to be judge, jury, and executioner over my hard-earned resources and money in the event of a divorce. So, the U.S. court system has very strong bias against men, and if there were changes made to the court system to better protect men from financial ruin in the event of divorce, then I might be a bit more obliged to get married. But until then, I don't sign contracts that don't benefit me.
What would they need to change? like to benefit or to at least equal
Sure.
the playing field?
So okay, there's a couple things. I think one, there needs to be like just a base cap on child support. So it doesn't matter like if whatever the bare minimum it takes to raise a kid, you can adjust for cost of living of that city or whatever. There's no world where if you choose to divorce someone and they're a high earner that you should be getting, you no longer get the benefit of the lifestyle that that person brings. So you get bare minimum child support. There should be a cap on child support. You should not be getting $400,000 a month in child support. When it comes to alimony, same thing. There are certainly good arguments for alimony. For example, if the woman, she chooses to disregard pursuing a career to be married to you and to have kids, it makes sense under those circumstances that as the guy, you should support your ex-wife. However, there ought to be a cap to alimony. And if she's involved with another guy, she gets remarried, then alimony should cease. If she's able to find a new guy to support her, she's living with a new guy, then alimony should cease. There should be a cap on it. It shouldn't be based on your income. If you're making 200, like you hear these, like Dr. Dre, you hear all these guys who get absolutely wrecked in court because they have to pay like insane amount of alimony. If you choose to leave your partner, if you choose to initiate a divorce, you should get there should be a cap.
I think the problem with the cap, though, is if you live in that person's house or you own a couple of houses or whatever the situation is, particularly in relationships where there's a lot of money involved, if you live in a house that's still on a mortgage, you're going to need that exorbitant amount of money to pay it off. So it has to be a case by case.
Well, if the primary breadwinner keeps the house, then I don't know, they go to an apartment. The divorcee.
I guess it depends on like how bad the divorce ends. Because some divorces, you just realise, I don't love you anymore. Or it's a horrible situation.
Is that a
and everyone
good?
cheats.
Is not being in love with somebody a good reason to get a divorce?
No.
I
This is
absolutely
terrible.
think so.
Absolutely not. And in fact, I think it's inevitable that there will be times in a marriage where you're not in love with the other person, but that is the purpose of marriage.
Not me, I'm a DILF.
So that you can't just walk out like that. That commitment is what's supposed to drive
Yeah.
you. So that even in the lulls, even in the low points, you're still committed to that
Yeah.
person.
Well, yeah. What are the vows? Till death do us part, in sickness and in health. It
better
says
or
nothing
worse.
about I'm bored.
Yeah,
I'm feeling a
exactly.
little bored. I guess I can leave.
And
you
I
know?
just seen the research today. Some additional research came out that said 54 with infidelity, 54% of women cheat because they're unhappy. And I just want to talk point on that unhappiness that leads to women cheating, and then essentially women cheat to get out of relationships. That just speaks to how unstable that marriages typically are, and how they operate on the whim of a woman's emotions, because women initiate divorce at a higher rate than men do. So that commitment that's made for sickness and in health till death do us part, that commitment is supposed to be honored. So when a woman feels that she doesn't love her husband anymore, or she's bored, or whatever the case may be, those principles are supposed to stand. Those pillars of those principles are supposed to stand. She's supposed to fight through that. And that's when I come back to your point when you said most people get married too young, or they don't know each other. You described how you and your wife developed your relationship. You said that you guys knew each other, you guys learned each other. A lot of people don't know how to properly vet. When they jump into relationships in the infatuation stage, they're not prepared for, we're gonna have these disagreements. Here's where our personalities don't align. Here's where our values don't align. And the minute those things rise to the surface, they want out. And typically it's the woman first, because the woman is the one who gets fed up first. She's the one who gets irritated first. She's the one who gets annoyed first, and she wants out. Typically, men don't expect that, because men, we go cry in the car, we sit, we decompress, we go in our man cave or whatever the case may be, and then we come back, we feeling better, let's have sex, let's make up. But once that woman starts to feel bored or unhappy, the relationship is now in jeopardy. And that's the issue with men picking better women. We do have to pick better women. We have to pick women that we know are going to hold us down. Just like I said, going back to my situation, I seen what she can stand by me through. She stands by me through absolutely the worst of things that she doesn't agree with, because she loves me and she sees who I am and what I will become. So I can honor that. So now I feel safe and secure that if I commit to this woman, I know this woman is going to be here even when she can't stand me. even when she doesn't love me. And that's why I feel that in the future I can marry her.
All right, we have Danny De La Torre here.
That's a
Girls
cool name.
have asked me if I talk to other girls while doing so with them. I don't care if they're talking to other guys, though. But if you have side hoes and your main talks to another guy, that is fair game. Dating cannot have double standards. I think this is where Q disagrees. I kind of disagree. If this is what you've negotiated, if you've negotiated a unilateral closed on their end, open on yours, and they're cool with that, I think that's totally legit. I think it's going to be hard to get. And actually, Q, I have a question for you on this, and if you want to respond to him, what is your pitch to a girl? Like, so you say you disclose to them, hey, like, what is your pitch? What is the selling angle? How do you sell it to a girl? Well, I guess there's a couple different things. One, there's the non-monogamy component, but then also, like with your main chick, how do you sell closed on your end, open on mine?
Just like that. And then responding to him, he said double standards cannot, but they can because of biology. They can because of biology, and they can because of the way the male brain works versus the way the female brain works. And as I said, if you know that a woman gets attached, you know this woman is selective. She only wants to date one guy, and she chooses to be committed to you. You're the guy that she's attached to, and she chooses to remain committed to you despite the fact that you date other girls. That's 100% her choice. The onus is on her. However, if I communicate that I'm aware that you're this way, I know that if you date another guy, that you would like that guy because of the way you move with me and because of the way you move prior to me, then I'm not accepting that because I know I already lost you to begin with. There would be even no point in me in contesting it. It's like, oh, I started dealing with this guy. I know that for you to have been dealing with that guy, it's been premeditated. Y'all have been talking. You've allowed him to sexually arouse you. You've gone out with him. You spent time with him. You've got close to him. You've been intimate with him. And so that guy's going to naturally give you what you feel like you aren't getting from me, which is the commitment, especially if he's only dealing with you. So you're going to have more incentive to leave regardless. So therefore, it doesn't matter.
Also, there's a whole bunch of double standards, some that benefit men, some that benefit women.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Danny De La Torre, whatever. Sorry if I got your name wrong there. Do you pay for the first date? That's a double standard that men are expected to pay for the first date. Just saying, like, are you 50-50 on everything? Danny De La Torre?
There's a lot of girls running around with free dinners.
Foodie calls.
Yeah.
Foodie calls.
Foodie calls.
Is
I
a
like that.
thing. Would any of you consider dating a guy where it's closed on your end, open on his?
No.
Absolutely
Never.
not.
I would not. And
Donald Trump? What about for Donald Trump?
No, we would have to have a monogamous relationship.
What if he's making 10 mil a year?
That's why I said I don't want him to have to get divorced. That's why I wouldn't put myself in the picture.
Okay.
I wouldn't
What about you?
do that ever.
Keep in mind, this could be like your ideal guy. He could be very high status, very attractive.
I'm gonna go from personal. Like, if the guy I was dating now wanted to do like the whole, we break up, but you stay there, I go out. I don't know. Like, I can't.
Sure.
I don't know.
I wouldn't. Monogamy would be a core value for me. And
Okay.
just on the double standard, I would also offer up that there are women out there who have multiple male partners, and the male
Yep.
partners are monogamous to them. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with double standards as long as everyone agrees.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
Personally, would not be my ideal man if he would not be monogamous to me.
Alex?
Absolutely.
Donald Trump?
Absolutely
She is
not.
Huh?
She's scarred.
No, I just that's disgusting. And also, I would lose attraction for a guy if I wasn't like the only woman in his life. Like, if I really liked him and he was my ideal 10 out of 10 guy or whatever, but if he was talking to other girls besides me and I knew I was an option, I would lose attraction for him.
One of the interesting things that I love about this is you asking them what they think they would do. And I always say women don't honestly know what they would do until they're actually in the situation, and their emotions, the emotionally charged variables that factor into that equation
No.
are actually present.
I
So-
think I know what I would do in this situation.
You can say what you would do on the outside looking in until you're actually in the situation. I don't think any of you have ever been in the situation.
That's
You've
because
never.
You're
I
acting
would
like this
do
is
it.
Sophie's choice. Like I would never be
I'm
attracted to a guy
saying
who's
that-
talking to the girl.
No, I'm saying that because
Otherwise,
I'm
we
saying
would've
that
been in this
because
situation
I'm saying
by
that because
now.
I'm also a relationship coach, and I see women all the time who say one thing and actually do another in reality. And that's most of the women that I deal with. Women love saying what they would or wouldn't do. As I said, you're on the outside looking in. You're not in love. You don't know how you feel. You're not overwhelmed with the feelings that you have for that guy. You don't know that. None of you do. You can't say that. You can say what you think you wouldn't do
but-
until you're actually in the situation, and there are circumstances to where you start to rationalize. You start to tell yourself, well, maybe I can change his mind, or maybe it's me. Maybe it's something that I can do. There are all kind of things that women go through that they tell themselves emotionally when they're caught up, and that's how so many women end up caught up. That's how women end up talking about boys. That's how they end up talking about, oh, this guy did me wrong, because a lot of the times those women are caught in situations because they're slaves to their emotions, and women are often slaves to their emotions. When you're not emotionally present in what I'm saying, then yeah, you can say, nah, I wouldn't do that. I absolutely wouldn't do that.
But if we're talking about, sorry,
You're good.
do you want to go first?
Go ahead.
If we're talking about non-monogamous relationships, 92% of non-monogamous relationships fail, and it's because one of the reasons is because it's not a mutual decision. And
Well,
it's
you saying
always on-
relationships. I'm not talking about relationships.
Well,
So we're
that's
just
what we were
talking
just
about-
talking about.
Yeah, you talking about like being in a committed relationship, dating a guy. I'm talking about if a guy is dating you and he's dating multiple women, but y'all aren't
we're not in
committed
a
to one
committed-
another.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm about to say, because it's never a mutual decision, and a lot of the women that are going into non-monogamous relationships that are initiated by the man just feel like they have to say yes because they're too scared to lose.
You
the
know what
man.
else women say they wouldn't do? They say they wouldn't stay if they got cheated on.
So you're
And they
saying
stay.
women are driven by their emotions
Ye-
a lot. So in that case, wouldn't you, as a relationship coach, try to coach women on understanding what their boundaries are and sticking with them?
Who said I didn't?
I didn't. I'm just asking.
You asked that question, and that question is already on the presupposition that I don't. Who
Okay,
said-
so then
who-
open
I do.
question then.
I absolutely do. I absolutely do, because I want women to make decisions. I want them to draw boundaries, and at the end of the day, the goal is to give the woman a choice, so women don't feel like they don't have a choice. That's why you're open, honest, and transparent. That's why you say, hey, this is what the situation is. This is what's going on. This is what I want. You can do what you want, or you can tell me that you want to conform to what I'm doing, and you leave the decision up to her. Women feel, but the feelings of malice come from feeling betrayed, feeling lied to, feeling like they didn't have a choice. So what do? You eliminate those feelings. You eliminate the feeling of betrayal. You eliminate the feeling of they don't have a choice. You allow them to make their own decision, and that's when their emotions come in. That's why I said if a woman really likes you, a woman will stay through things that she thinks she wouldn't stay through. I can attest to that, and men who get women can attest to that, regardless of what women say, because women say the same things. I've dealt with women. I can keep this casual. Oh,
So
no, I really
think
like
where
you. I
it
want a
pushed back a little
relationship.
bit is where you're saying that a woman will sort of prove how much she cares about you if you can sort of if she proves to you that she's willing to do things that she wouldn't otherwise do. What that sounds like to me is sort of already having a little bit of soft boundaries. So the other way to approach that would be asking the woman, what are your boundaries, and coaching her on how to stick with that. And that would be the approach that I would take.
Overall, I think it's just different when you, like he said, like we're not in. If you're in love, it's completely different.
Thank you.
Like when you are with, like when you are really, really like in love with this person, it does not matter what they say, what they do. You're still just gonna love that person, and like the fact that we were talking about this like shows that like some of us are clearly not in love. I've been with.
That's why I respect your answer. You said no, and then you said I honestly don't know. You know why she doesn't know? Because she know how she feel about him right now, and she make that decision based on how she feels about him right now.
And I think it's perfectly fine to not know. We don't all have the answers right here, right now, and things change over time. Maybe one day one person says they want to be monogamous. The next 6 months, after 6 months, things change, or they are in their headspace changes. They want to open up the relationship. A year passes, they want to be monogamous again. So it's a fluctuating thing. We don't always have to know in the moment. But I think there is a difference between saying a woman doesn't know because she's a slave to her emotion and how she feels might change. That's true. But you can also take the approach of saying, well, so think about what your priorities are, what you want, and how can we figure out how to navigate within those boundaries without violating your own boundaries
You know how many
because of your emotions.
and see, once again, this is why I'm speaking from a place of authority, because do you know how often I've tried that? I've preach that to women. Do you know how much women don't listen when they're in love? Do you know how many women come to me when they schedule a coaching session and they tell me what the issue is and the type of guy that they're dealing with, and I tell them about boundaries. I tell them leave. I tell them these things. They don't do it.
Not.
They won't do it. It's simple. See, it's different. See, as I said, behaviorally, when you see it, their behaviors contradict what they say they would do. I would never, or I could do this. Then when they're in a situation, okay, this is your opportunity to do it. No, he told me this, he told me that. And you're also forgetting the factor that men say things to the women on the other end. So she's not going to listen to the outside world. If you could tell a woman, you need to leave him. Her friends tell her, you need to leave him. Everybody tells her, you need to leave him. What matters more to her is what he's telling her.
So what would you advise a female to do in that situation? Then
Thank
if she's
you.
stuck in a situation where she wants to leave but is having a hard time leaving.
There's nothing you can do outside of telling her what she needs to do. You can't force her to. She has to come to that realization on her own.
Could you say all these things about dudes, though?
What you mean?
Like everything that you've said about giving people, like, I feel like one of the issues with people taking on board what you're saying is you're allowing people to do things. And when you say that you allow it, it sort of means that you're demeaning someone. I know what you're saying, but I reckon that wording is probably not the best way to get your point across. I think with dudes, because dudes can be emotional wrecks too.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Dudes can be cheated on and stay with the woman. Mm-hmm. Dudes can do all of those types of things.
Been there, coached them too.
So, yeah, you're saying you can say those, but I think it's important to say that. Because otherwise it looks like you're attacking women, which you're not doing.
Well, yeah, no.
But it's important to say that. Otherwise,
yeah, but it's about where does it occur more.
Sure.
There's a disparity between how often men experience that and how often women experience that, and typically it's the woman experiencing it a lot more than the man is.
Okay.
Because men are more like, men will leave if men get cheated on, they leave. Women stay.
Is that a pride thing? Do you think? Like, does it just hit the pride, or is it more of a? It's built into your DNA that this person isn't the one to carry a child.
It's both. I say the pride stems from what's built into your DNA.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I also hate women.
Okay.
I think that's a very concise way to finish off what you're saying. That it is all built into our DNA. I think there's a book. Is it someone younger? Carl
Jung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The book about sexual behaviour. A very interesting read, talking about why we do what we do, and
Everyone should read that.
how it sort of fits into current societal norms and cultural norms, and how we sort of trust certain people to carry our offspring and don't trust others. I think it really speaks quite loudly if you will listen to it.
Yeah, and if you realize a lot of domestic abuse comes from women who have committed an act of infidelity, or they perceive that the woman has committed an act of infidelity. That's that pride and jealousy that comes into play. So when a woman cheats, a man is much more likely to put his hands on her if he finds out, because it's that sexual jealousy. Like, sexual jealousy is, in a sense, more intense for men because men value sexuality more than women do. Like, emotional cheating is deeper for women, and sexual cheating is deeper for men. So it's harder for a man to overcome sexual infidelity than it is for a woman to overcome sexual infidelity, and it's also more difficult for a woman to overcome emotional infidelity than it is for her to overcome sexual infidelity, because they place two different values on those things, two different weighted values. So emotional infidelity means more to women because, as I said, women are emotions is how men demonstrate, allocating resources, investing in resources. So if a man is cheating emotionally, then to that woman that means he's giving that woman other things that he normally gives her, which means he really likes her. Whereas a woman, if she's cheating, then that means she has the possibility of conceiving that man's child and him fathering a child that's not his. So we take that much more seriously because of that possibility, because of that paternity uncertainty.
Yeah, from an evolutionary biology standpoint, the worst thing a male can do is give his resources to an offspring that's not his. And the worst thing that a female can do is kind of lose the caregiver who can give the resources. So from a purely evolutionary biology standpoint, obviously society has evolved to be not just about that, but that still drives our actions.
Right.
I don't understand the concept of being a dating coach without being married. Like, what is your credentials to be telling people how they should date?
My psych degree, and then the actual fact that you had to take a course You have to take like a 2-month course on becoming a certified relationship coach, and there's a science to it. So it makes no sense I hate when people say that. You don't have to be something or in something in order to talk about what the science reveals about.
No, I agree with that.
Exactly. So you just answered your own question.
Okay, how many women have you dated that have taken your course? Any?
That have taken my course?
Have you ever dated a woman that is paid to take your course for coaching?
You should write it into the syllabus.
Yeah, that's
No.
like
Yeah, no.
You have to date
No.
me at the end.
No.
Weird.
No, but I have had clients who are attracted to me, but I've never dated any of my clients. Yeah. So it's
Sorry, just going back to just clarifying how you would cancel a woman, just kind of trying to understand that. So you were saying that women are driven by their emotions, but in the sense where you see and she sees that she's in an unhealthy relationship, she wants to leave, you want her to leave as her relationship coach, but she's not leaving. So I guess in that case, it's like, how do you handle that?
It's only so much I can tell you. It's only so much guidance I can give you, because at the end of the day, you're going to make the decisions that you're going to make. So if you choose that, then at that point, then our
So then he's
relationship.
a coach. He can't make you do something.
Yeah, I
He's just
can
gonna-
only guide you and advise you on what it would be the most effective course of action
Yeah.
for your sanity.
Yeah,
But
I think we're kind of saying the similar things. I guess my angle is just that is how you would advise her is to sort of put herself first and listen
Right.
to her sort of feeling on what is good for her.
Right.
And try to enact those things. So in a sense, not listening to her emotions as strongly, but actually acknowledging kind of where her boundaries and priorities are and going after that. So I
Right.
think it sounds like we're kind of saying the
we're
same
saying
thing.
we're
Okay.
saying the same thing. I'm just saying it's much more difficult in actual reality. You know, it's easier to tell a woman what she should do
Sure.
versus what she's actually going to do, because as I said, I'm not the guy on the other end who, you know, every time she feels that she has the strength to leave, he pulls her back in, or he tells her something she wants to hear, or he tells her he's going to change, or he tells her he's going to stop doing this. And because she loves him, she wants to believe him. And the fact that she wants to believe him keeps her invested in the relationship, because she believes that at some point he'll change. See, it becomes
That's what I was talking about earlier with the potential.
Yeah.
Like she sees the potential.
So-
Like he can change.
So
It's
hope
just
is a
when
strong
he gonna
emotion.
change?
See, hope is a really strong emotion. If that woman has hope for that man, then it's going to be really, really tough to get her out of that.
Now, I want y'all to understand that in this new age of modern women, this is one of the ways in which they will consciously sabotage their romantic opportunities. The last thing a man wants from a woman is for that woman to play mind games and downplay her attraction to him or her desire to see him. And this is one of the ways in which pop culture, media has led women astray and actually reduced their ability to form healthy romantic connections by getting them to behave in ways that are counterproductive to developing those healthy romantic interactions. When a man is interested in a woman and he's going out on a limb, he's initiating, he offers something for them to do, that is a woman's opportunity to reciprocate that romantic interest without any pride, ego, nonchalantness, apathy, manipulation, or reverse psychological tactics. A man with options is not going to conform and entertain such bull. And women's friends will even encourage this low IQ behavior amongst themselves. Don't appear too desperate. Don't move too fast. You don't want him to think you're a I've dealt with plenty of women who, when I asked if they were available immediately, or they modified their schedules to see me at their earliest convenience. And that's how
Zach,
healthy
thank you
women
for the
tend to
20
operate
gifted
when they're
subs.
genuinely interested in a guy. They want that man to know that they're interested as well. Women will engage in and utilize the most counterproductive dating methods and then get upset and vilify the man when those strategies fail to produce the desired effect or outcome.
Truth.
I agree.
All women
And
want
I've
these
seen
days
like
is
that's not the
chase.
only girl that I've seen like kind of do this, like use that noise. It's like it's one of those TikTok things, right? And she's like, oh my, what is it? She's like stoked that the guy is texting her, but then she's like
She
responds,
wants to play hard to get.
oh, I'm busy, or like even though she, you know, whatever. So.
I think human nature, like we're attracted to what's rare, and kind of full circle going back to the conversation topic where you started, where you said something along the lines where if the guy was too available, that was unattractive to the woman, and because maybe you had multiple other partners, that it actually made women more attracted to you. I don't think that's weird. Like I think it's human nature to want the thing that you can't have or want the thing that is rare. So essentially what the woman in that video was doing was sort of
They're
trying
trying
to
to, like, reverse
recreate
it.
that. So, I think it's not great for either gender to do. I think everyone should, you know, if there is attraction and you're also reciprocally attracted to that person, to be like full in and present and not try to play
And
hard to get in games.
I want to piggyback on what you're saying. I feel like a lot of it is how females, how we're raised growing up, especially by older females in our family. Like, for me, it was like my grandma, she would be like, oh, you got to act like a lady. You got to do this. You can't let him, like, if you want a good man, you can't perceive yourself as this, and that. Even though we're, like, super into you, we're super attracted, we want to spend, like, every single day with you, we don't want you to think that we're, like, hoes or we're just, like, out there, like, we're doing this with everybody else. So it's not like we're playing games in a sense. It's like, okay, let me chill. Let me see how I can get him without him thinking too much of me.
Anybody else? Yeah.
I was gonna say that that could be the case. Like with a lot of women, I do hear that a lot. But like in the video that she's just representing, she's just.
Oh no, she was wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can tell she was wrong. Like all she wants is like the chase, and like that's all she's seeking is the attention and everything.
Yeah, I don't think men or women should be playing games like that. I think it's super detrimental. But I also think like when women are forward, I don't know. It's just
it scares a lot of men away when we're forward, like, because you can be like, oh, you're hot, and I'm gonna be like, oh, you're hot too. Let's go to my place, and you're like, oh no, you're too much. Like I don't.
Like, you guys want us no games, but then when we are forward, we're like, okay, yes, I'm interested. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like you're maybe doing this with homie in the back.
We're natural hunters, but I like agree with your video, except for because there was like the sound over it. It's like if two people like each other, then yes, if they both like each other, they should both be dropping things and prioritizing someone. It shouldn't just be the girl that has to prioritize the man. They should both equally be prioritizing each other.
Right, and I understand what all of you are saying. The caveat is the guy having options and the way the woman responds. So I'm saying if the woman plays games and that guy has options, then he's not going to necessarily stick around for her to wait to see if she's going to be interested or reciprocate. But what I'm saying is he may move on. But if she really likes him, then she just sabotaged that opportunity because she wanted to downplay it, because she wanted to play cat and mouse. That's what I'm saying.
Would you also encourage men to not play games with women?
Which is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like it if a woman simps. You know?
I do too. I love it. It's actually it takes a lot of pressure off me.
You love it, but not enough for you to get rid of your roster and not have other women that you're seeing on the side.
Because you're still forgetting that.
You guys are impossible.
No, because you're missing the point to where I said we were monogamous.
Yes.
And then she was sabotaging.
But now she got her stuff together. So now you get your stuff together. Both of you stop playing games, and both of you get married.
Who said we wasn't gonna do that though?
You.
No, we'll still do it. It'll just be on my it'll still be on my time though. But it didn't go unnoticed.
I'm saying you guys have both established throughout this entire podcast that you guys are in this mentality that there are hardly any good women out there, and you are saying that you have a great woman. Don't let her go once you leave this podcast.
I didn't.
Do you think you being less available than she would like makes you more attractive to her?
Absolutely. Subconsciously, it does.
Is that a game? Would you say of being unavailable? Kind of.
No,
like
because I'm not trying to play. I'm not trying to play unavailable.
You're not
I'm operating genuinely. Like this is me. I have no ulterior motives. I'm not trying to make her feel a certain type of way. I'm just literally focused on me and where I want to be. And with that comes me. If other women are interested, then yeah, I'll talk to other women, I'll do other things, but it never gets too serious, it never goes too far. And at the end of the day, when I want to call somebody, when I want to talk to somebody, when I want to take somebody on a vacation, whatever, I call her.
But what if she's just genuinely busy and has her own life too?
That's fine. I never said anything against that.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I agree with you, except for like she shouldn't be the only one.
I don't stop her from doing anything she wants to do.
Well,
everything she does,
what would
she
be
does
the
on her own.
incentive for you to settle down with her if she actually finds you more attractive when you're less available?
Because I'm still doing things like this. So
because, like,
the only thing that would change is me just cutting off other women.
No, but what would be the incentive for you? As in, like, why would you ever want to give up this lifestyle if the more unavailable you are for her, the more she finds you attractive?
Not this lifestyle, just other women. The lifestyle stays the same.
The other women is what I mean.
Yeah,
by the lifestyle.
Getting rid of the other women, that's easy.
But why would you ever do that? I mean, it sounds like when you were fully available for her, she wanted you less, right?
Because she took it as a challenge and I guess as a motivation to improve herself.
How old is she?
You asked. I told you she's 26.
26.
Have you seen her like improvement ever since she, I guess, sabotaged your guys' relationship? Like, have you seen her actually trying to progress and improve herself?
Yep, and that's what I respect. So
Yeah.
at this point in my life, like I said, I told you guys in the beginning, it's not all about me dating other women. It's about me trying to get somewhere where I want to be in my life, like financially.
Yeah, I respect that.
And I'm trying to accomplish certain things. So
But
I'm
if you're
not,
waiting for that perfect moment, it's never going to come.
You're
never gonna make enough money to have feel comfortable.
Yeah,
with kids.
I know that. I'm well aware of that. That's why also it's a matter of my discernment. So what I'm saying is, I don't want to rush it, but at the same time, I'm still open to when it comes. And I'm not saying that's going to take years down the road. That could be next year. That could be in a couple months. But what I'm saying is, I'm just going to operate on my time, regardless. It's just if she's still there, she's free to do what she wants. She's free to go wherever she wants. She's free to be with whoever she wants. So when I'm ready, if she's still available and she's willing, then we'll make it work.
But not sleeping with other people for you, what she wants to do, because that grosses you out.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying if she slept
not
with if she
actually that
no
free to do what she
if she
wants.
slept with other people, that doesn't actually gross me out because we met when she was in a relationship. So I know she slept with somebody else while we talked.
Yeah,
Like,
but you said you didn't want her to be.
because I know
sleeping
I'd
around
lose
right
her.
now.
I know I'd lose her. What I'm saying is if she's still there. The number one indicator that would be that she's no longer available is if she sleeps with somebody else. I'm saying I know she likes somebody else, and at that point, I've lost her.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
I-
that's what I use that as a proxy for if I still have her. Does she still love me? Is she still committed to me? Once she sleeps with another man, for that moment, she may not like it. It might not work out. But for that moment, if she told me like, listen, I'm interested in somebody else, I'm seeing somebody else, and they sleep together, I'm operating under the presumption that she's moved on.